Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel. We're here to help you see the new you. You're watching The Family Business with Nato Agbayani. Welcome back. You're watching The Family Business with Nato Agbayani. And this afternoon, we have two guests. Actually, it's a husband and wife team. So today we will have JC or Jonathan Camaso and also Yan Pangilinan-Camaso of Stonehenge Manpower Services. So we'll bring them in right now. Maybe we can bring in Yan first. Of course, as they say, ladies first. So we'll bring in Yan Pangilinan-Camaso for the show.
Good
All right.
afternoon, Nato.
Good afternoon, Yan. So you're live from Quezon City, no? So am I. So welcome to the show. I know it's your first time. Welcome to TNC. Um, we'd like to know, like, how have you been doing, like, during this pandemic? What's happening? Kumusta ang Manpower Services business? How have you fared as a family business? This is a family business, right?
Yes.
Yan, no? Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. Maybe you can tell us more about your journey itong pandemic with the Stonehenge Manpower Services. Kumusta?
Yeah. Again, good afternoon, Nato. Good afternoon, everyone, especially to our viewers. Thank you for having us in your program. Yes, we are a service outsourcing company. Like any other business, the ongoing pandemic have resulted in job losses and business disruptions. As our clients reduce their operations, our business is obviously affected as well. No one is spared from this crisis. It also means that our operations are likewise reduced. Because of that, we right away put our business continuity plan in place. Despite the widespread shutdown of many businesses, we decided that all the more We should continue to operate and support our clients. We refuse to surrender. We also embrace the value of continuous learning. We keep ourselves busy looking for and learning new technologies that will help us thrive in this difficult situation. It is worth mentioning the value of support groups. We had a constant collaboration with our business colleagues and organizations. They have been very helpful to us. As we all know, no one has the monopoly of knowledge. We learned from them some best practices applicable during this pandemic.
That's very interesting, yan, no? Kasi I think, in this I think right now there's like 10 million jobs lost already, based on the
Mm,
DTI statistics. And then parang, oh my gosh, I mean, if there's 10 million jobs lost, maybe in our own small corners, we can really, help people find jobs, 'di ba? Pero
yes.
like, how did you start? I mean, is Stonehenge 10 years na ba in the business or longer? How did you start as a husband and wife team
Um,
with Stonehenge?
yeah. It's already 12 years. Yeah. We
Wow,
registered
12
this
years
in
na pala.
2008. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. So, how did we start? So, we registered this in 2008. First, so by the time we get the client, we conducted job fairs in different barangays in Pampanga. Since I am a Kapampangan, we focus on hiring people from resettlement areas way back in 2008. For the knowledge of some viewers who are not aware of the history of resettlement areas in Pampanga, these areas came about after the eruption of Mount Pinatubo. That means the people residing there are those families displaced due to the lahar mad flow after the eruption. We are also a victim of the lahar mad flow, and we even lost everything because of the disaster. That is why my heart always goes to those who were previously affected by Mount Pinatubo. That is the reason why we started from the resettlement areas. We are fortunate that me and my husband are both accountants. Hence, compliance to government reporting requirements comes handily to us.
Yeah. I don't know, hindi ko pa yata nakuwento sa inyo 'yan, 'no, because in the early 90s, we had an organization, it was called Youth Aid Philippines. So
Wow.
weekly, may dala kami mga 10 buses, filled with students and relief goods. Tapos I think, which church was this? The one that was buried, na nangalahati na yung
Mm.
simbahan somewhere in,
Bacolor? Yeah, I think
yeah, Bacolor. Yeah, I
Bacolor,
remember
yeah.
kasi the mayor was, Mayor Canlas before.
Ah,
And the
yeah.
first time nagpupunta kami dun, mat wala pa, hindi pa na-cover ng lahar. And then
Mhm.
towards so many, we were doing the, relief operations for 2 years. So after 2 years, yung simbahan wala na, halos wala na. So
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
doon na sa roof. So,
Mm.
I feel you, parang I remember
Yeah.
very, very vividly, so many students were helping out. Also nagsa-sandbagging din kami. Anyway, it's good to know that ang inuna niyo are those people na nag-resettle because they lost a lot, 'di ba? Aside from
Yes.
properties, yung talagang para kang nasunugan, 'di ba? You
Yeah,
lose
correct.
everything and you don't even have a job. So you mean you started hiring people from those areas like,
Yes.
um, Bacolor maybe, because yung Bacolor parang nilipat yata yung the whole town, 'di ba? Into some other places like Mabalacat
Yes.
or yeah. So,
Yes.
I mean, in all of those years, so when you started, where was your office located?
It is located in we have an office in Mexico, Pampanga, and in San Fernando as well.
I see, I see. So, well, it's good to know that, a lot of people are into looking, I mean, no, parang giving jobs, no, to people who are looking for jobs right now. I think, in your case, for example, you also have an office in Manila. Is that right?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
in Quezon City.
in Quezon City. So the both the accounting firm and the Stonehenge Manpower Services is located there.
Yes. Mhm.
So what um like this is first generation, no? This is owned by you and of course JC.
JC.
Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes,
So
yes.
first generation, you are the
Yeah.
founders of this. But you also have a family business, I suppose. I think um yung family mo in Pampanga also has a family business, is that right?
Yes, yes.
So
Yes,
you're second
they have,
generation
yeah.
naman of that
Yes,
family business. I see.
yes, yeah.
What are you into? What's your family into, Yan?
Yeah, they're into
Oh,
construction business and real estate as well.
okay. So you're like second generation. You joined them or you put up your own, or you're
Um,
still helping the family business.
I think we're in a second generation.
Okay,
I'm part of the second generation.
second generation. And then I think you have
Yeah.
kids, no? So they will be the third generation and hopefully
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Mukhang ano, mga bata pa ba? The kids are
Yeah.
young pa,
Yes.
no? So
Yes.
wala pa sila dun sa parang age that they will already take over the
Yeah.
parents. Not
Malayo
yet.
pa.
Pero maybe
Yeah.
you're already training them.
Yes. Yes.
Baka
Nato. Yes.
since you're both accountants, I think maybe they're also parang kwan sa numbers, no? Yung competencies nila more on numbers. So,
Yes.
um, I mean, itong journey niyo of 12 years, how has it been? I mean, how did you start from basically setting up the office and then eventually growing it? Paano? Like, what stages did you go through?
Mhm.
Oo.
Of course, through the years, of course, there are some difficulties.
Mm,
And first, how did we handle those difficulties? First, I think difficulties in handling this one, first, it would start with ourselves.
mhm.
As much as possible, I keep the different aspect of my life integrated spiritually,
Yes.
emotionally, and mentally. It is our sole responsibility to take care of ourselves and be integrated, ask help if necessary. After you have dealt with and equip yourself, that's the time that you start dealing with and equipping other people.
Mm. Like, from the start, from the beginning, like, how many people have you given jobs to already? I mean, of course, there's ano, in out, 'di ba? In out naman
Yes,
'yan. But
so
in total siguro, like, of the cap, like, how many people have already gotten jobs through Stonehenge?
I think a lot na kasi it's 12 years eh. So I'm not sure if we already reach 10,000. It's
So gano'n karami
yeah,
na
yeah,
talaga.
yung yeah,
Wow. So
madami
imagine
na
that
din.
you were able to help 10,000 families over the last 12 years.
Yeah.
Talagang
Because the turnover is ano din eh, mabilis din. So for example, you have 600 now and then some of them resigns and then there's another batch. So for the past 12 years, there are a lot na. Yeah.
I see. What industries yan were you able to support? What kind of industries
Mm.
you provide jobs to, for example?
Yeah, recently, semiconductors. We also have restaurants, constructions, and the Home Depots. So it's in trading. Yeah, trading industries. Yeah, retail also.
Retail as well. So
Yeah.
it's so interesting kasi alam mo, right now I think pero in the general area of Pampanga or your iba-iba ring areas, you provided also jobs for different areas, for different
Um,
clients.
right now, mostly in Pampanga, but since we are allowed to operate anywhere in the Philippines, so we can also cater other clients in other areas.
You mentioned earlier that you were able to parang encounter difficulties along the way, no? I mean,
Yeah.
syempre 12 years,
Mm-mm.
it's not every time a very rosy picture, but I
Yes.
understand ano, but how have you been able to go through the challenge as a family, as a business? Kasi usually,
Mm.
sometimes nagmi-mix family and
Yeah.
business, but as a family, as a business, what values kept you going? Kanina you were talking about integrity and talagang number
Yes.
one yan. Also relationships, 'di ba? Parang I
Mm.
remember in one of our guests, si Jacob, he
Mm.
mentioned na in this pandemic, hindi yung financial resources ng families in business ang kept them together, but it was really the relationship and the common beliefs. Yun yung nag-hold sa kanila to go through the crisis. In your case, like sa family, how have you kept it going, 'di ba? How have you
Yeah.
kept it strong despite the pandemic and the challenges?
I think yeah, same with Jacob. It's the common values, and then of course we should take care first of ourselves, so that we will be more objective in making decisions, and in taking care of the concerns also of our employees.
So when you say concerns, paano yun? Where do you draw the line? Like, after kasi you're like a third party HR, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So,
Mm-mm.
ano yung mga issues na hina-handle niyo? I mean, parang lumaki yung pamilya niyo, it's a family business niyo, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Pero you handle so many people. What issues do you solve on a day-to-day basis halimbawa?
Yeah. Usually, for example, we follow certain policies in our company. So we also incorporate the policies of our clients. So when one of the employees did not follow that policy, or incurred some absences, for example, so we do the disciplinary actions. We give a memo. We are the one giving memo, and then so also we do the termination as well if necessary. Yeah.
So, you're like kasi parang third party, 'di ba? Pero you give the salaries, 'di ba? You do
Yes.
that
Yes.
as well? And then you
Yes.
also
Mm.
parang coach them if ever medyo lumilihis ng landas, yung mga gano'n. Stuff
Yes.
like that you
Mm.
also do, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, very
Basically, we're an like an HR department. Yeah, outsource HR.
yeah. So, it's very difficult, I think, a lot of the companies I've worked for in the past, isa sa mga most difficult, things to do, yeah. Kasi sa
Yeah. Correct.
operations, 'di ba, sometimes the employees, they have attitude issues, they
Yes.
have, tapos minsan, I don't know I don't know puwede bang bumali sa agency? But, in the companies before, can we have cash advances or stuff like that? Parang minsan ano, ang hirap, 'di ba? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
you need to keep the company happy, at the same time the employees happy, and it's difficult. So, do you do, like, training programs internally, or, um, how do you keep the employees happy and the employers as well?
Yeah. Of course, like what I have said a while ago, our clients, they have their certain policies. So, and then required training programs. For example, in the restaurant industry, if our client have certain policies, so and then rules and regulations, and then the basic processes like that. So we will relay that to the employee. So we will teach them first, and train them first before they'll be deployed to our clients.
Yeah, kasi merong specific requirements si
Yes.
employer, right?
Yes.
But, you're only doing local sa ngayon ano, you don't do
Yes.
international right now,
No.
which
For
is
the for now, local.
yeah. because it's kind of difficult din ano to support yung mga international jobs like for OFWs. So anyway, what advice can you give the families in business like right now in the pandemic? What can you tell them to inspire them to keep on going and then keep on growing kasi 'di ba minsan stop hiring kasi ano pandemic pero 'di ba if you stop actually how are you supposed to nurture the future? Is that right? So I'd like to hear from you what advice you would give, for example, in terms of as an accountant and as a an HR provider, what can you tell our families in business out there who are watching? What advice can you tell them?
Mm. So for the family businesses, they should embrace the change.
Okay, so um, we had our guest si Yan Camaso. She's coming in again. Um, I think they have internet issues right now, but you see, we'd like to understand, that in the family business, for example, of HR and manpower services,
Mm,
there's really a lot of things na are relevant to those people suffering in the crisis right now. So
mm,
we'd like to bring you Ian again. My
yeah.
question earlier was what's your advice? Like how can the families in business survive right now?
Right now, they should consider to adapt pivoting and transformation. If your business has been greatly impacted by the current crisis, you're not alone. It is important to remember that great companies can be built in a hard times. So number two, they can consider to embrace digital technology. So get digitally educated, embrace the change, and understand how to take advantage of the technology.
Okay, yeah. In fact, I've seen some of the families in business, and it seems that they were still able to survive. Some of them with cash resources really are good for 2 years pa.
Mm,
Kaya lang
wow.
they reduced operations, 'di ba? And then maraming compliance, but in terms of survival, they can still do it. It's just that what should they prioritize at the end of
Yeah.
the day, 'di ba? And then in terms of manpower, what do you think should people stop hiring now or should they really be more careful in getting the proper the right personnel? What do you think?
Mm. During this time, they can continue hiring, but we have to follow the safety measures recommended by our government so that we can make sure that we won't be infected by the virus. So we should make sure maybe before we hire, they should be undergo the appropriate test like the swab test so that to be sure lang.
Yun pala yan. Who is required to do the swab test? Kunyari construction company.
Hmm.
Is it the employer or the employee? Kunyari ako si construction worker ako. How do I get the swab test myself? 'Di ba mahal or
Yeah.
what's government policy on that?
Usually, there are agreements between the contractor and the client, but mostly right now, the employer shoulders the swab test.
Sorry, the employer
Yeah, usually, yeah.
ano niya, siya
But
magbabayad.
yeah, mm,
Okay. So, thank you very much Yan for that information. And then ngayon, for example, there are mandatory contributions still, 'di ba? For
yes.
those kaso yung iba work from home, paano 'yun? They're reduced hours and then their salaries are reduced. Paano nangyayari? Kasi yung iba
Um,
I've heard of O 30% reduction sa sweldo. But paano 'yun? Paano yung reporting nun sa BIR? Kasi you're both accountant and HR
Mm.
third party. So how does that happen?
So for the government contributions, like for example, SSS, the basis of the amount of the contribution is the salary. So if the salary is lower this time, so the contribution is lower as well.
Pero 'di ba 'yan, reporting niyan is like quarterly or something?
Monthly, the remittance of the
Ah,
contributions is monthly.
so you mean, if for example my salary is, kunyari lang, 20,000 and then it was reduced to 30%, magkano yung
Mm,
30%? 6,000. So magiging ano na lang
mm,
sweldo ko, 14. The
mm.
basis now for reporting to government institutions is the 14. Tama?
Yes, yes, correct.
I see.
Yeah,
So monthly pala siya.
yeah.
Okay. Alright. Naku, thank you very much yan
Thank
for that
you.
information. O dun sa mga families in business out there, you know now what to do. So what's going to happen now, Yan, is we're going to have a break. And then when after this break, we'll bring in um, JC Camaso. So see you later and keep watching the family business with Nato Agbayan. Welcome back to the family business with Nato Agbayan. Okay, so after that break, we'll bring in JC Camaso. He's our guest, also from um, he is the managing director of our company now, the featured company, which is Stonehenge Manpower Services. So before that, we'd like to give you the shows of TNC. Let's watch the big picture, HR Hotline, the fourth project, Usapang Beauty, COVID Stories, U-Turn, The Home Buyer, The Puppet Stories, TNC Marketplace, YOLO, Money and More, The Talk, After Shift, Win Within, Danny, Foreign Affairs, Healthline, Women at Work, Awesome Day, Cybernext, TechU, Town Hall, One Day, and of course, don't forget the family business with Nato Agbayan. All right. All right. So welcome back to the family business with Nato Agbayani. Now we bring in JC Camaso. He is the managing director of Stonehenge Manpower Services. Earlier we had uh, Yan Pangilinan-Camaso. She is the general manager of Stonehenge Manpower Services. So, hi JC. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nato. Good
Mm,
afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon,
So,
everyone.
yeah.
Especially to your viewers,
Yes.
Nato.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for having us in your
Mukhang
program.
mukhang marami ng ano, marami kayong fans, eh. According to Yan, you have already employed a total of, almost siguro within the last 12 years, 10,000. So,
Yeah,
uh, I'll
more or
go back
less.
to I'll go back to my question, JC, of the journey in your version, kasi kanina version niyan. I will
Yeah.
ask you now, like, what key lessons have you learned, like from starting your own family business? Because our viewers are mostly families in business. Some are aspiring to become families in business. And what were the lessons you learned along the way? It's not easy, 'di ba, to have the family business. Sometimes it's easier to be an employee kasi wala kang responsibility. Pero itong family business, you're responsible for everything. What can you say about that, JC?
Yeah, before anything else, with all due respect, kasi naging empleyado din naman ako. So I think in anything that you do, you have a some sort of responsibility. But allow me to share some of the measures that we did and how we were able to thrive during this pandemic.
Yes.
My wife mentioned about refusing to surrender a while ago. She said that. So allow me to formally label it as resilience.
Yes.
Yeah, because we Filipinos by nature are very resilient people.
Mm-mm.
So no matter what the odds are, we keep on moving forward. So more than ever, this is the time. This is the best time to show our resilience to the whole world. And another thing, we are in a family business. Me and Yan are also products of our own family business in our nuclear families, in our own
Yes.
respective nuclear families.
Mm.
So this is business, but during this pandemic, I personally believe that I can do nothing without the grace of God.
Amen.
So I am convinced that we're able to be where we are today because of His grace. And lastly, um, me and Yan, we made sure also to take good care of our mental health. As business person, we often take for granted or worse, neglect our mental health, which is very, very important. Again, to emphasize, this is very important, especially during times like this, during crisis. So
Yes.
the COVID pandemic is unprecedented. You cannot find any self-help book in the bookstore about overcoming the COVID during
Tama.
crisis.
Wala, wala talaga.
Yeah.
Yes.
As far as I know, there's none yet. That's why we see to it that we are also sensitive towards ourselves and really try to recognize how we feel about a certain and not just brush it off, just to keep our mental health healthy.
I see. So, imagine, no, tama yung sabi mo, unprecedented. This has not happened at any time. Not in modern times. Siguro, I think the Spanish flu happened
Yeah.
sometime in the 20s, no? Pero that was different. We didn't have what we have now. In fact, if this pandemic happened then, it might have been a totally different ball game. Now that we have the internet, but I think a lot of companies have been forced to, 'di ba? I'm also with Premier Family Business Consulting, and a lot of consulting work is done face to face. So now we're transforming. Everybody is going digital, and we're pushed to that aspect of digital transformation na dapat as a family business, as a consulting firm, you now do face to face. I mean face to face pero sa online sa
Online.
Zoom or sa Google Meet or whatever platform. So in that case, for example, now that you're looking for, of course, your clients are really B2B, right, JC? So it's really
Yes, yes.
companies who are looking for employees but they don't have like the skills or they don't have parang hirap sila with managing people. So how do you keep them happy? How do you manage that? Like looking for manpower for these companies and training them and retaining them. How do you do that as a company?
I think Yan mentioned about embracing digital technology. And what we did during the height of the lockdown, we keep ourselves busy in learning and adapting to the available technologies. So, especially you're afraid, diba, of meeting strangers. So when I say strangers, for the lack of better term, yun yung mga applicants, diba? So you don't know them
Yeah,
where they came from, diba?
from
So
Adam.
yeah, we're very fortunate that we were able to get a technology where na hindi na kami face to face. And then also the application is also online. So,
So
yun.
you do that parang
Yes.
virtual
Yes, yes.
interview.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
So
the submission of the application papers online na siya. So meron kami nakitang isang isang app na nagamit namin talaga.
so you discovered this app before COVID or
During the
before the
COVID.
pandemic?
Yeah,
Okay.
during the COVID. Actually, if I may, Nato, again, no, to add
Yes,
what
go ahead.
Yan said, she mentioned about the value of support groups. So we had a business organization kasi who we meet regularly. So we exchange best practices. So doon kami nakakuha ng idea. Then they suggested it that you may want to use this, utilize, and we find it very, very useful. So,
Parang
di ba,
alam ko
no,
yan,
no,
Parang
yeah, yeah.
parang kilala ko yan,
No, yeah, tama,
Yes.
tama.
So, uh, so for example, I'm looking for a job, then I go, and then somebody wants to parang apply. They just go to that app. They download the app, or what do they do?
No, once they signify their intention to apply for a job from us, we send them a link. So, and then they just click the link. Ang maganda nun nato, kahit
Mm-mm.
sa phone lang nila gamitin, pwede. Ibig sabihin, kahit sa phone lang yung applicant, pwede na siya mag-apply ng job doon. The person, after clicking the link, nakadata na naman halos lahat, just to fill out all the needed information there. And doon, andun na rin, pwede niyang i-attach yung ID, NBI clearance. What they're going to do is just to take a picture, di ba, of their document, diploma, picture, upload, and then submit. Once they click submit, nasa amin na yung mga
Wow,
forms lahat.
ang galing. I mean,
Yeah.
that should be used by government din, yung mga peso offices, 'di ba? Kasi,
Yeah.
'di ba, if you're looking for a job, ako I came from government. So, the first step, ang sasabihin nun, "Sir, naghahanap akong trabaho." Punta ka sa peso office, 'di ba? That's what usually happens, eh. Yun pala JC 'no, yung peso office. Marami maraming naghahanap ng jobs. So, if if a company is looking for example, ano, factory workers or mga sewer, for example, they go to
Yes.
you and then
Yeah.
you will just post this online, tama?
Yes, yes. And then we
Go
got
to
a lot
FB.
of applications already.
Okay, marami akong matututunan sa inyo ni Yan, ah.
Thank
Meron
you.
pala meron palang ganyang app. And then you see,
We're
'di ba,
happy to share. Yeah.
considering that so many people are jobless, I think you have an advocacy that you're having na ba? Itong I think, you have a project this last quarter of the year. Later, ikwento nyo sa amin.
Yes,
yung
yes.
project nyo about people, helping people get jobs, no? So, but before you answer that, JC, we will now go into our second break and then, sige, kwento mo sa amin yan. Alright? Sige,
Thank you,
JC. We'll be
Nato. Yeah,
back.
sure.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Family Business with Nato Agbayani. So, we'd like to bring in our guest, JC Camaso, again on board. So, thank you, JC. Earlier, I was asking you about your advocacy. I think you have a new advocacy about getting or helping people get jobs, no? So, can you tell me? Oh, can you tell me more about, like, I think you're trying to produce 1,000 jobs, right, for people
Yes, yes,
at least
yes.
until this December. Yes, can you tell me more about that?
Yes. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Nato.
Yes,
Actually,
thank
me
you.
and my team, we have activated actually all our admin people. We ask them to look for persons who are in need of job, and also at the same time to look for companies who are looking for employees so that we could match them. As we all know, many have lost their jobs during this pandemic. Not you mentioned earlier about 10 million, right, Nado?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. So probably we can help at least 1,000 by the end of the year. So siguro malaking bagay na yun kahit pa paano mabawasan yung 10 million ng 1,000.
Tama yun. JC, I think if you are able to generate 1,000 jobs, you'll be able to help 1,000 families eat.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
There's so many people who are, having a hard time now. Ika nga, hard times talaga ngayon. But kanina, I think, si Yan mentioned about pivot and resilience, no? So, pero I also know of some families in business and some companies who have earned despite the pandemic. So, for example, ayan, lagi ko sinasabi, yung mga guest natin na nag-guest na dito sa the family business, some of them have really made it big. For example, naging guest natin si Marvin Teo Lim. They own Mega Sardines and they are positively affected. Siyempre, lahat ng ayuda, sardinas. So people are buying sardines, etc. Government is buying. And then I think si Felta, sila Mylene Aviva, they also they're selling they're into robotics, but they also have tablets and for kids. They're yung sector nila education talaga. So a lot of them are still earning, no? And then yung guest natin supposed to be si Dr. Pedro ng Happy Toothpaste. Ayan, tuloy-tuloy tuloy-tuloy naman ang toothpaste, 'di ba? So there's yung mga consumer goods, food, etc. But of course, looking for jobs is really very important. So JC, what do you think? What's the yung advocacy nyo kasi you're saying na 1,000 jobs, no? But what if a lot of people do this, no? They really seek out jobs. In your case, you're looking also for companies. What can you tell these companies who are seeking out, for example, people? How can you help them? Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, probably because as I've observed, the effect of this pandemic to entrepreneurs, it caused some kind of confusion. Diba? Parang, ano ba nangyayari? Saan ba kami pupunta? Probably my suggestion, not an advice, more of a suggestion to the company owners, most especially to the family business owners. This is the best time to rediscover the purpose of your company. So this is the time to reflect and find the deeper meaning. Why are you doing these things? Because when you're able to do that, this will pave the way for you to think of innovations. Okay, so once you've thought of innovating something, it would create a need for uh, workers, for new employees, and that
Right.
eventually
Yeah.
would translate to revenues to the company. So, and then importante kasi yon na these people that you will be getting, 'di ba? Um, you also need to inspire these people, because these people, like our team, uh, will help us in the execution, 'di ba, yung project namin na 1,000, and get things done.
Yeah. So, you're saying na really this is the time for ano no, not just doing the business and getting profit. It's really about sustainability, eh. Kasi kung wala ka namang employees or kung walang walang jobs, eh, people are lost everywhere, ano mangyayari, 'di ba, sa Pilipinas? So it's really about people helping people. So this is very commendable, no, itong your project of
Thank you.
seeking out 1,000 jobs. Kasi at the end of the day, if 1,000 people have jobs and they have money to spend, babalik sa ekonomiya and then iikot uli, gaganda uli yung Pilipinas. So, ayoko muna mag-say goodbye. We'd like to bring in uh, Yan also, Camaso, if she's still there. Ayan, si Yan. Kasi magte-thank you ako sa inyo, husband and wife team. I know we still have some time, but gusto ko sana yan, join na tayong tatlo. You know, there's a lot of learnings today for families in business. Number one, you can pivot. Number two, you can be resilient. If your relationships are firm, maayos, di ba? You have integrity, then you can move forward. Hindi pwedeng, yung kanina, no surrender, di ba? If you surrender now, paano mangyayari sa family business or sa businesses in the Philippines? So at the end of the day, I think those are key takeaways. So before I let you go, I'd like to get a word from each of you, your advice to the families in business out there, or even the entrepreneurs out there who are watching this show. What can you tell them? I'll give you 2 minutes each. Sige. Who goes first?
The boss goes first.
The general manager first. Si Yan. Okay.
Yeah. So, advice. In summary, as I've said a while ago, we should adapt to changes, embrace the change, adapt pivoting and transformation. So also try the digital technology as well, and also the one thing that I've said a while ago, then yung take care of ourselves and be integrated in all aspects. Thank you.
Thank you, Yan. Very important lessons. Integrated. I think what you mean by integrated, wag maghiwa-hiwala yung parts mo, di
Yeah.
ba?
Yeah.
Kasi minsan yung mind natin goes, this part goes there, this part goes there. So if you're integrated, if your mind is whole, then you can move forward easily, di ba? How about you, JC? What advice can you give?
Yeah, tuloy ko yung sinabi ko kanina nato, no? This is the best time to rediscover the purpose of your company. A time to reflect and find the deeper meaning. Kung ano ba talaga, bakit ganun? And then, because of that, you'll be able to think of innovations to your company. And then, mas mapapalaki mo pa, mas makakapag-provide ka pa ng more employment to makakatulong ka. So, and ito, pinaka-importante na ito, no? More importantly, in the family business. And during this difficult time where emotions are at all-time high. So,
Yes, that's right.
it is best to be always aware of it, no? So, minsan kasi we're being too emotional, but it doesn't help during this time. So, but not recognizing it does not help either. So, kaya sa family business, communication, di ba, is the key. That's why in the family business, structure is the key. Kaya importante, the family business is structured, institutionalized. You might want to hire family business consultants, experts, para matulungan. Because it will
Yes,
guide and give us clear process on how to do things in the family business during these confusing times.
that's true. Also, no, I mean, your advocacy is really commendable, and I'd like you to invite people, or maybe if there are companies out there, looking for people, or HR consultant or services that they need people really to help them in this pandemic. Maybe you can invite them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To all those companies out there, help us with our advocacy in providing at least 1,000 jobs to our fellow Filipino people. So you can reach us, or you may visit our website www.stonehengemanpower.com and give us a message there.
Yun. How about you, Yan? Yung mga
Yes.
job seekers.
Yeah. So for the job seekers naman, yeah. For the job seekers, yeah, they may reach us through our website as well, and we also have a Facebook page, the Stonehenge Manpower Services.
Okay. So, before I let you go, there's a word for the day na related talaga sa sinabi nyo. So, that's the tradition yan dito sa The Family Business. We have the word for the day before we end the show. Actually, we still have a few minutes, but sige, I will give the word of the day, and then I will... so, the word of the day comes from 2 Corinthians 12:9. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. So, you see, di ba, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, people feel so vulnerable these days. People, regular people, families in business. What more the families in business that they are responsible
Mhm.
for a lot of jobs, di ba? Para bang, what will they do? So, ayun, it's really, I think, yung key takeaways nyo is very important. Resilience, be integrated, or there's integrity of your purpose. Also, rediscover your purpose. These are good lessons na the families and business can really think about. So, kami naman, for example, sa Premier Family Business Consulting, we're not the experts. Well, it's a multidisciplinary team. You can come to us, you can consult us. We can help you with the pandemic, cope with the pandemic. We have programs exactly for that, and you can contact me at the Premier Brand Management at gmail.com, or you can visit us at www.premierfamilybusiness.com, or visit our FB page, Premier Family Business Consulting. Also, we'd like to inform everyone that we are going to have the Asian Family Enterprise Excellence Conference. It's going to be held this January 28 to 29. Of course, we will be inviting international speakers coming from different countries. International speakers coming from different countries talaga, no? So, but this time, we expect to have a very, very powerhouse team. So, you're invited, JC and Jan, to the event. Of course, it's going to be virtual, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a very exciting event. Right now, we're having our client appreciation, so we're gathering all our clients today, right now, as we speak in this show. So I'm catching up
Mm.
late, but I'd like to thank you, uh, Yan, JC, for gracing this occasion. Ang ganda nung sinabi niyo about God's grace, no? Minsan kasi even if we have resources, 'pag wala kang God's grace or your wisdom is
Mhm.
not dependent on Him, you just use human wisdom and logic, and minsan napapariwara din ang negosyo, 'di ba, at the end of the day. But if it's God's hand na guiding you, I think, the family business, kasi hindi lang naman yung business yung pinoprotect but also the family. Mas more
Yes.
important yung family.
Mhm.
So
Tama.
with that, we'd like to thank again Stonehenge Manpower Services, JC and Jan, for joining us. Next week, we will have very interesting guests, and the whole month of October. So mga ano to, mga some people who were former employees like us, and then went into our own families in family businesses. So with that, we'd like to thank everyone for watching the Family Business with Nato Agbayani on the new channel. We're here to see the new you. Okay, bye guys. See you next week. God bless you all. Bye bye.